Stephen, a great night tonight for football, everyone gathered here. Maybe talk about the young talent first coming through, I suppose. Are you encouraged at what you're seeing?
It's interesting you should say that, Niamh. You know, I did an interview about a year ago with Marion Finucane, and she said, like, she asked me at the time, how about all the young players coming through in rugby? In rugby circles, and there's nothing coming through into the international team. No young players coming through. Why is that so, and how can we rectify that? And it seemed to be the general perception, and it seemed to be everyone seemed to have a similar opinion. And now that's radically changed in the space of a year, and obviously that's been done over a period of years. But I think one of the things that the international teams can do at all levels, and particularly the under-21 team, is that good international form can enhance their club form, and it goes hand in hand. One helps the other. I think when you look at all of the players who are emerging, part of the reason that they've had their opportunities this year is because of the under-21 international calendar. We've played 12 games this year, which has never happened. And I think Aaron Connolly, for example, when he came to Toulon and played really well, the loan manager David Weir from Brighton was there. You know, they really made an impact on him. He had a brilliant tournament. He made his debut for Brighton, got 2 goals. Adam Idah nearly played 12 games this year for the under-21s, and you know, Neil Adams, the loan manager, has been there for all of the games. I think right through, all of the under-21 players now are nearly playing in first teams, because their reputation of Irish players has been enhanced in England. A lot of managers are coming directly to watch the players playing, and that's something that didn't happen before. And
do you think we're being unfair thinking that actually it's the clubs that are doing the work, that actually the work's being put in from schoolboy level in Ireland to get them to that stage?
I think the clubs in England, you mean?
Yeah, like, are we being unfair giving them the credit when we see them play?
A lot of the players are only there in a short period, that couldn't be the case. But certainly some of the clubs have certainly helped them, there's no doubt. Especially when the players are training in a first team environment. You know, Adam training with Norwich's first team, Aaron Connolly in with Brighton's first team, of course that really helps them. There's no doubt that's hugely beneficial. And I think that brings their technical standard up, and the level of intensity of the training would certainly bring their game on no end.
What did you think when you saw Adam's performance on New Year's Day?
Yeah, delighted for Adam, because he's obviously everyone in College Corinthians Cork should be very proud. You know, that he's come in and done well. But just one game, he's got to back that up now over a period of time. He's only 18, and he's been very consistent for us. Not very consistent, he's been ever present. He's had games where he's been outstanding, games where he's been quieter, and I think he has sort of a wide range of abilities, really, because he's quick, he can threaten in behind, he can hold the ball up, he's got a physical presence, and he had a period where he didn't score for quite a few internationals, but after starting well, but he got a great goal against Sweden, and he's delighted to get that and not put him back on track.
A lot of talk about Troy Parrott as well. You know him well. He's training at a really high level, maybe not playing at that high level at the moment. Do you think a loan spell would do him some good at the moment?
Well, I think football, when you look at players in Portugal, players in Holland, these great academies they have, and and they blood them so young, and you nearly feel Troy at 17 is ready to play. You don't want him held back, and I think he's ready to go and play now. He's so mature for a 17-year-old, incredibly mature, but it's very difficult at the big clubs. It doesn't happen at the big clubs. Give me an example of a young Irish player playing at a top 4 or 5 English club in the last 10 years. It doesn't exist, and I think so. It is very difficult, and I think Troy is.
Is he an option for Mick?
Troy is an option for Spurs at the moment, because he they have injuries in the centre forward areas. He's a proven goal scorer at every level. The jump to the first team is a big jump. They want to get to the Champions League, so the stakes are very high for them. It's hard, and there is a balance somewhere there. But so hopefully he gets game time, That's all we can hope.
I think Mick had you in mind during the group campaign with Troy, but do you think he'll use them now, or utilise them more come the Slovakia game and that massive game that's been...
I don't know, I really don't know.
Yeah.
Mick would have to answer that, because there's a lot of competition at the moment, and it's hard to know.
What if, I suppose, you're going to take charge of senior team soon enough, what would you do in that position?
What would I do? What?
In that position, if you were in the position Mick is in now, would you utilise the young lads at this stage? Do you think they're ready for it, for such a big game like that Slovakia game? It's a do or die.
Yeah, it's probably not a fair question, because I think we must fully support Mick and all of the background team and players ahead of the playoffs. And I think from my point of view, I've got to focus on the under-21 games in March against Iceland and against Luxembourg, because the under-21s have never qualified for the under-21 European Championships, and if we win both games, we're guaranteed at least a playoff and a chance to go to Italy to qualify, to win in Italy to qualify. So that's a big incentive for the young players, and
how important is that for them to get that experience at that level as well?
Well, it's more games, more high quality games, exposed to high quality games, possibly exposed to a tournament. Which they wouldn't be before at that standard. I was in Italy this year for the under-21 International European Championships. It's a very, very high standard. All the players actually, by the time they get there, are 22, 23, some of them, top players, and they're all playing in the top leagues around Europe, and it's a terrific standard overall. So for Ireland to get there, it would certainly enhance their and make that gap smaller for bridging to get to the first team.
How are you feeling about those preparations for those games?
For their games?
Yeah.
We've no real preparations, because we don't get them, because the players are with their clubs. There's no window for them to train in between, or to meet each other, or to do anything. So we just get them in a few days before the game, and that's the reality.
Is that hard? Is that difficult?
Well, it's the way it is. It's the way it's always been, I suppose. And
is that kind of what you're learning now?
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, it is. I am learning that, because the international windows, there hasn't been one from November to March. So that's the players, the clubs own the players in that period until that comes. So we have to go. But it's good that a lot of players are getting first team action. That's very, very encouraging, and that's a good sign. And we have two tough games, and we might lose some of the players to the senior team, and if that happens, brilliant, because we all want Ireland to qualify for the Euros, and I think already Aaron Connolly, Leo O'Connor and Troy Parrott have been capped at senior level, so it's possible others could be, and that's progress.
Just have to wait and see. Just very quickly before we go, in terms of the FAI and what's been going on this week, the new director has been appointed. I suppose it's been a rough time for the association. Do you see it getting through that tough time now?
I hope so. I'm not privy to what happens at board level, and the meetings and so forth. I think that I think football is the most played sport in Ireland. 300,000 between young and adult players playing the game every week, and that's amazing, really. And I think one of the things that it's amazing when you think about it, when it came to the forward end, the crunch, that for such a mass participation, that the government money was 2.9 million. So that was.
And they're still withholding funding. I mean,
was,
grassroots more than anyone. You know League of Ireland. Is this detriment to now? Do they need that money back? The League of Ireland.
I think it opens everyone's eyes to say, in comparison to other sports, over the last 20 years, we've been sort of very much, even though we're the biggest sport and the majority sport, we've been treated like a minority sport, and there's definitely been, so I think that has been evident.
And money is still being withheld. Like, would you say to Shane Ross now, we didn't get a lot before. What will this do to your game and the game you love if we don't get that money back soon?
Well, it's not for me to say. I'm not involved but by all accounts, things are going better now, and with the new independent directors, it seems to be a real positive move. That seems to help. Obviously, my concerns are with 200 employees, the FAI, with the hundreds of players and staff who are employed in in our national league, and I think that it's a developing industry, and I think it could be a brilliant industry in Ireland, and one that could be with the right investment and the right vision, could be a terrific industry. I think so. I think by all accounts there has been good progress made, and that has to be a positive, and hopefully there's more stability behind the scenes.
Stephen, good luck in March. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.